Okay, section 8.2. This is going to be 2 lessons, and it's going to be split. The next 2 lessons are on 8.2. The first part is on multiplying. The second part will be something new on factoring. We've done multiplying before. So we are going to multiply here. We are going to take 3x squared times 2x to the third. We'll forget about the rest of this. We're going to use the distributive property, so we're going to multiply it by everything. But when we multiply, we simply multiply the numbers. So this is 6, and then the exponents add. So it becomes 6x to the 5th, because there's 2 x's times 3 more x's. That makes a total of 5 x's being multiplied. Then we do the next term. A positive times a negative is a negative 6. And we add the exponents, so 2 and 2 make 4. Three times 3 is 9. And we go x to the 3. Three times 8 is negative 24. X squared. Now again, we would add any like terms, but there were no like terms inside, so there shouldn't be any like terms outside. Notice this was 3. It simply added 2. It went up to 5. This was 2. It added 2. It went up to 4 in terms of the power. This was a 1. It went up to 3. This was nothing. It went up to 2. So the x's all increased by 2 inside there. The rest of it multiplied by 3. Now, negative 1/2 times 2 would be negative 1. I'm not going to write the 1. Then remember, this x would have a 1 on it. So when we multiply it here, we end up with an x to the 4, because 1 plus 3 is 4. Now, half of 6. Half of 6 would be 3. It's negative because it's a negative times a positive. And then we got x to the 3. Sorry, a little sloppy. It's hard to write with the mouse sometimes. And then negative 2, x to the 2. Remember, this one has a 1, that one has a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And then a negative times a negative is a positive 4. And it still has an x because there's an x out here. So can you quickly try the next one? I'm going to give you about 20 seconds. See if you can multiply that one through yourself. Okay, if you've tried it, please check it on the board. 2x to the 6th minus 8x to the 5th plus 4x to the 4th minus 14x to the 3rd. Should go 6, 5, 4, 3 in the exponents. It used to go 3, 2, 1, 0. They all went up by 3 because of the outside, and the numbers all multiplied by 2 that were in the front, called the coefficients. Okay, try the next one. Give you another 15 seconds. It's a little shorter. I'll start in about 10. Negative 21 x to the 5th plus 14 x squared. How are you doing? Is it making sense? It really isn't anything new. We did a lot of this. We just didn't do a lot of distributing on it. Okay, so now we go to the next page. Now the next page, says simplify and write in standard form. So in part A, we're going to multiply. So everybody, I'm going to do this one with you. Follow along. We get x to the third, because remember that one inside has a 1 on it. Then we multiply here and we get plus x squared. Now that's the end of the distributing for the first term, but now we have to distribute an x into the next term. So make sure you remember that that x would be to the 1 power, so this becomes 3x to the third. And then x times that is minus 4x. Now, x to the third plus 3x to the third is 4x to the third. Those are like terms because they're both x to the third. We talked about it yesterday. You know, if we had 2 dogs and 3 dogs and a cat, 2 dogs and 3 dogs make 5 dogs and a cat. But what it doesn't make is 6 cat dogs. Okay? Can't put them together. We can only add the ones that have the same powers. So this one has an x to the third. This one has an x to the third. We can put them together. Then we take the next power down because we're trying to put in standard form. So we go from highest to lowest. So we get plus x squared minus 4x. And that's our answer. Okay, so now can you try the next one? Pay attention to the negatives. First, multiply everything in the first one, then multiply everything in the second one, then put any terms together that are the same. So I'll give you a little time. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. I'll start in about 15. You don't have to look at the board, but just because it takes me a while to write with the mouse. Okay, so I color coded this one. First, I multiplied both things. You should have ended up with 5 terms, but then the 2 that I have in red combined because they're both x to the fourth and x to the 4, and they should get negative 20 x to the 4. Then the 2 I have in green, they both should have been positive because you multiplied a negative times a negative in both cases. So check the ones that I have in green. I know you're not going to have the same color, but look at those. Did you have them both positive? If you didn't, you messed up just not doing a negative times a negative. Did I do something wrong? For the first one? Yes, I did. Thank you. I should have a negative 6 here, right? Ah, okay, that's going to change. So this should be a negative 6. So it's going to change this one to a negative 26. Sorry about that. Thank you for correcting me. Okay. And then this one should be positive 20x. Everything else do you agree with now? Good catch. Thank you. All right. Can we try part C? Okay, if you look at this one, we get two like terms, the ones I have in purple. Should get us 8x to the third minus 14x squared plus 8x. I'll leave it up there, but that is the entirety of this lesson. How'd we do? Okay, so the part that goes along with this, the 8.2 worksheet, we have this worksheet, I believe, and it's just these numbers. So look on 8.2. We're going to keep this worksheet. We're going to do problems 1 through 9. So you can look at problems 1 through 9. And then look on the back of the worksheet, and you're going to do 29 to 34. We will do all of this worksheet, so don't cross anything else out, at least not yet. But we're going to do 1 through 9. Everybody find it's 8.2 worksheet. Should be the second one that you have, and then 29 to 34.